Welcome to the Roadrunner 89 Swirl to Investment Network, where we talk about interracial love and marriage. Hope you enjoy Swirl to Investment. All right, welcome to tonight's show. Happy Saturday, everybody. Please give me a 1 if you can hear me. Been having some technical difficulties, just a little bit, but just give me a 1, somebody, so I know you can hear me. Okay. Okay, no ones. I guess nobody can hear me. All right. Okay, you can hear me. Okay, good. All right, I was getting worried for a minute. Nobody responded. Okay. Welcome to tonight's show. Okay, tonight's show. Okay. As you see, I put up a poll where you can vote for what content you want to hear about tonight. Now, the 3 choices I gave you, I will cover every option that I put up there, okay? But tonight we're going to cover interracial marriage with biracial children, okay? Sorry. But that's what we're going to cover tonight, okay? Because everybody voted on that. It was neck and neck between interracial marriage and white privilege. I got my take on that, but I'll share that with you later on. Okay. But everything you see, every choice you had, I'm going to cover each and every one. You know, the secret swirl society here and now, I'm going to cover that. Okay. The secret swirl society, which that's what I call people having interracial relationships, but trying to keep it a secret. Okay. And back in the day when interracial relationships, interracial marriage was illegal, people would have to sneak around and kind of have their love on the down low, you might say. In today's world, you don't have to hide it, but unfortunately, there are some black women and white men that love each other but ashamed to be with each other or seen with each other. And that's unfortunate. Okay. And a lot of times it's because of what society thinks, what their friends, their family think. CC, you never seen the poll? Okay. It's on my community page. I'm sorry you didn't see it, but I will cover everything that I put up there in the poll, but it's on my community page. If you look at it, there's a poll there, and it was neck and neck. And I was like, "Dang, what's the show going to be about tonight?" But everybody voted, and the winner is interracial marriage with biracial children. Okay, and I'm going to talk about that because I'm in an interracial marriage. I've been married over 30 years, and I have 3 biracial children. Okay, so I know what it's like to raise biracial children in America and today's world. Okay, and I'm going to talk to you guys how I raised my children, me and my wife Sandy, how we raised our children. Okay, and what we thought was the best way to raise biracial children. Okay, um, and there's a lot of biracial people out there, and biracial children are beautiful people. Okay, and every human being's a beautiful person. Okay, I'm not going to say one's better than the other because one is not. Okay, we're people. Okay, we have our beauty within, regardless of our race, right? Um, but biracial children and biracial people are growing more and more every day because we're falling in love with people that are outside our race, outside our ethnicity. Okay, and nothing wrong with that. Biracial children, I look at biracial children as a product of our love, as a product of 2 people of different racial groups coming together and having a child together. Okay, um, children are amazing. Children are beautiful. Okay, but when we have biracial children, you know, they're how can I say this? Some people say, well, you got to raise them different because they're different, and you got to let them know they're biracial. You got to let them know they're not black, they're not white. Um, I I think we just raise our children to be children and human beings, and love who they are, because they have something special. It don't make them above anybody or below anybody. Okay. Um, but I'll talk more about that. Okay. Um, I'm gonna show you some videos. Okay. And if I show you a TikTok or some video, it don't necessarily mean I agree with it or disagree. I'm just showing you a video. Okay. A lot of videos, most of the ones I show I agree with because I think they're uh an awesome video that shows, you know, a point that I'm trying to push forward. Okay. Um, yeah, biracial children are beautiful, but um and don't come for me if you say, well, what about black children? What about white children? All children are beautiful. I'm not going to say one is better than the other. I don't do that. Okay, we're all human beings. I don't think one person is better than the other. I just think we're just people. Um, but I'm going to talk about interracial marriage and biracial children. Okay, I have experience with this. All my children are grown adults. Okay, I'm going to show you this picture real quick before I get started. Okay, this here is my family. Okay, this picture is several years old. Okay, um, all 3 of my children are grown up. Okay, they're adults now. My youngest is 22. Okay, so you see my daughter up front. I think she's like 3 years old there. My son's 5. I think my daughter's about 7 or 8. But that was several years ago. Okay, my youngest is 22. My son's 26, my daughter's 28. Okay. Now, I'm not going to show you what they look like today because of trolls, because of ignorant idiots that would try to, I don't know, show their picture, whatever. But this was back in time, back in, our younger days. And, I was in the army at that time, and my kids were real young, but they're adults now. My oldest has children of her own. Been married. My oldest been married 9 years and has 2 daughters. So time has flew by. Okay, and you see the star. Well, we're Cowboy fans, and we're pulling our hair out of our head this season, but that's okay. But I'm going to show you this is what a interracial marriage and biracial children look like. Okay, and this biracial children are growing in vast numbers, more so than any time ever. Okay, but and in my opinion, I think if we loved each other like we should, most of us by now would be biracial, but that didn't happen. But it is happening at a slow pace, but that's the future, guys. Yeah, thanks, Diamond Lace. Thanks, Beverly. I appreciate that. But my kids are adults now. Okay. Youngest is 22. In that picture, the youngest is 3. Okay, so that's like 19 years ago. Okay. But anyway, let me show you the slide, and then I'll go to the videos and we'll have fun. Okay. All right. I made this slide, and let me take that picture off here real quick. Okay, interracial marriage and biracial children. Okay, this is the future, ladies and gentlemen. If you see these pictures, I got a couple pictures of black women, white men, and biracial children. On the side, I got a black man and white woman with biracial children. Okay, this is what's happening in real time. This is America's future, which the future is now. Okay, interracial marriage and biracial children. In my opinion, this is how you should raise your biracial children. Okay, I am not perfect. I don't have all the answers, but I'm going to give you my opinion and what I think's worked for my family. Okay. Number 1, raise children to love who they are. Okay. And love both sides of the family. Okay. You don't want to raise your child to be pro-black, anti-white when they're both, and you don't want to go the opposite way to where they love their white family and think less of their black family. Okay, you want to raise them to love both sides of their family, i.e., love both sides of themselves. Okay, of course, you want them to love both parents, right? Children don't understand what pro-black is. They don't understand what white privilege, all this stuff that's floating around. They don't understand different races and all that, why we look different and why some people got feelings about others and their skin tones and all that crap. Okay, they're children. Okay, and they need to be in a family environment where their family loves them. You don't want to have them growing up favoring one side or the other. Now, you can point out, people that make good decisions end up doing good. People that make bad decisions end up doing Not so good, right? Okay. But you want to teach them to love their family. Okay. And you want to teach them right and wrong along the way. Now, if you got a family member that's not doing right or is corrupt, okay, you could teach them, you know, to do right, but not hate. Okay. All right. Number two, let them know that they are not above anybody. Okay. They're not better than other groups of people because they're biracial. Okay. You don't want to build build up a huge ego that they think they're better than other people. Okay. They're not above anybody and are not below anybody. You do not want to tear up their self-esteem because they're biracial. Okay. They're not above anybody. They're not below anybody. They're human beings like the rest of us. Teach them to embrace who they are. They're beautiful people. Okay. All right. Number three, biracial children are the product of the love of two people of different racial groups and are a beautiful blessing. I look at my children, guys, and my children are a beautiful blessing to me and my wife, Sandy. Okay. They look like both of us. Okay. They don't look white or black. They're biracial. They look like both of us. They're kind of in between. And that's a product of me and my wife, Sandy. It's a product of our love. And we had children because of our love. And they're beautiful children. They're amazing. Okay. But they're going to look like both of us. I know my children ask me, well, Dad, how come we're black and white? Well, I simply tell them that I have a love for black women and that's where my heart is. And I fell in love with your mother, which is a black woman, and you're both. And that's a blessing. You are a product of the love me and your mother have with each other. And you explain it to them that way, they feel good about themselves, but you don't want them to think they're better than anybody else. Okay? Just like you would raise any child, whether they're a black child, a white child, that you're not better than anybody, but they're not above you either. Okay? We're human beings in this world. That's basically how you raise biracial children. Okay? And let me see here. Number 4. Okay? The more we love each other, the more biracial children we will have. Okay? And that's okay. That's a good thing. That's a blessing. Okay? And whether you find love within your race or outside, it's a beautiful thing. Okay? But when you raise biracial children, I'm going to tell you guys, let them know who they are. Okay? And don't get caught up in this segregated mindset like you got to choose one or the other. You got to identify as black or white. No. Be the biracial person you are. Embrace it. Love who you are. Okay? I know there's people that tell me, well, because you're with a black woman, your kids are black. People tell me that all the time. Well, they're half black. Yeah. They're half white. They're biracial. Okay? And it's simple biology. You get two parents, both your DNA is poured into the child you procreate to have. Okay? And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with biracial. Okay? I know some people, and I know some people get caught up in the segregated mindset where if you're biracial, you got to go with one group or the other. You got to either be black or white, or you got to choose who you're going. No, bullshit. You be who you are. Okay. And the crazy thing is within our society, we forced biracial people in the past. If they weren't purely white, they were black, and that's what we did, right? Well, not us, because we weren't around, but that's what our nation did in the past. And that's the wrong thing to do. Okay. I have no problem with a biracial person saying they're black or they're white. I don't care. Okay. In a world where we let people identify with as being a man or a woman, we'll let that slide. But a biracial child can't choose whether they're black or white. That to me sounds crazy. But they're part of both groups. They're black and white. Okay. And that's okay. That's a good thing. It's not a bad thing. You know, a lot of times people will say, I know in the past that they wouldn't let biracial people be white because of the segregation laws we had. But we're seeing black people say, well, you can't be black because you're half. Okay. Truth be told, they're biracial. Okay. And, you know, to me, racial identification, I could care less. I don't really get caught up into that, but they are both, and that's good. Nothing wrong with that. But you teach your children to know who they are, where they come from, and they got a family on both sides, and have them embrace their family. They don't have to embrace what members of the family are doing, okay? Because sometimes members of our family do bad things. But to just have love for each other, have love for your parents and both sides of your family. That's how you raise biracial children. Me and my wife, with our children, have never had a problem with them wondering who they are, or who they need to belong to, or identify with. No, that was never an issue. But we were never pro black or pro white. So it was never a thing. They know who they are, they know who their parents are. And they love both their mom and dad, and we love our children. That's it. But anyway, okay, that's my opinion. And look, I'm telling you, all three of me and my wife Sandy's children, all three of them are college educated. Okay. Two of our children are moved out living on their own. Our oldest daughter's got her own family, got her own kids, been married for 9 years. Our son's serving in the military, in the army. Okay. He's in the NCO ranks. He's moving up. Our youngest daughter is going to school to be a NICU nurse. Okay. And their confidence has never been a problem because we never made them decide who are you going to identify with. If you do that to your children, your biracial children, you're doing them a big injustice. Okay. They're people. Okay. And unfortunately, our society, we're coming out of that segregated mindset. You know, when my oldest daughter was born, when I went to sign the birth certificate, and they told me and my wife, and this was in 1996, okay? They said, you got to either choose black or white. They told us we didn't have the right to say our daughter is both. We had to either put white or black on the birth certificate. which to me was total BS. It was stupid. It was a way to keep us segregated. Even though we had a biracial child, we had to force that child to pick one side or the other. Of course, we didn't have to make our daughter choose, but they wanted to choose it. They wanted us to be divided. Now, soon after 1996, my son was born in 1998. After that, you can put whatever you want on the birth certificate. I'm just like, what are we doing? I think that's the most horrible thing you could do to a child is make them choose who they prefer one over the other parent. That just tells us, you know what? We have to be segregated. No, we don't. My brother went to Bible college. And get this. He was telling me that not too long ago before he went, they made, if you went to college and you were biracial, that you had to identify as black or white. You had to be with a white woman or a black woman and go with that group. That's not the Christian way. That really isn't. That's evil and total opposite. And instead of identifying with a racial group, why don't we just identify as human beings? We're Americans. This is our country. This is our home. Why don't we just become one? Is that a radical thought? Is that just something that, come together and just be focus on our nationality instead of our racial or ethnicity? I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking radical here. Anyway, okay, that's my opinion. And look, me and my wife, we got three amazing children. They're doing just fine. Okay, they know they're both black and white. They know. And you know what? They've never complained about it because we didn't make them make a choice. We didn't tell them they had to go with this group or that group. That's their own decision. They grow up, they do, they make their choices. Okay. But some people have a different idea of raising biracial children. Oh. Another question: are you straight or gay? Oh, okay. Jennifer says, I was raised as mixed, and I'm glad my adopted mother brought me up to appreciate all sides of what I mixed with. Yeah, why shouldn't we embrace who you are? I mean, I see people all the time. They go on ancestry.com and they do their DNA and then they do a little research and they, oh well, man, I'm English and French and German and all this other stuff, and they're so proud of it. They're embracing every little bit of them, right? Why can't biracial children embrace who they are? All sides. I'm just saying. And look, we're all people. We're mixed. We all are. If we're 100, I'm 100% white, right? I did my DNA, but my DNA is scattered through Europe. Almost every country in Western Europe, I have DNA in. Okay. And black people have the same thing. They got scattered across Africa, right? Men have traveled. People have procreated with each other since the beginning of time. And people are attracted to other people that might not look like them. This misconception that people are only attracted to the same race is a bunch of BS. If that was true, we would never have any interracial children. We would never open up our options, but we do. And we do it more and more as it becomes more of a norm, as we get more comfortable with opening up our options. The world's changing, guys. Before you know it, most of the people are going to be biracial in our country. It just simple logic. And there's a lot of people that are attracted to people that don't look like them. You know, something different. But I've seen it all my life. You see a woman that looks a little different, catches your eye. You're interested. You're curious. Women are the same way. And you know what? We're going to end up we're going to come together, have families together, get married, and we're going to have biracial children. And that's okay. I mean, you go with the best option. The best option might not look like you. My best option didn't look like me, and that's okay. Nothing wrong with that. Okay? And if you're only attracted to people within your group, your racial group, ethnic, there's nothing wrong with that either. Okay? You go where your heart is, where you're loved and celebrated, do that. Because at the end of the day, you got to be happy with who you're with. Just saying. Is that Leo? Yes, it's Leo in the background. He's barking. He barks at everything. He hears a little noise outside. He goes crazy. The little guy is protecting us. He's so funny. But yeah, that's Leo. Sorry, guys. He my wife's trying to calm him down, but you know, he hears a little noise. You know how dogs are. They're territorial and they're protective. And even as little as he is, he's protective of us. So, yeah. It's great when the whole world is multiply mixed race and it brings people closer to one another. I agree. And I and let me say this. You know, I've had people tell me, okay, you're with a black woman, and what about your kids and all this stuff? What will they think? Who will they identify with? They don't have to identify with nobody. Just be themselves. And some people say, well, and some of the white supremacists, okay, and I'm talking about the real ones, not the ones that hold it people accountable for their wrongdoing. I'm talking about the ones that want to keep the white race going, that it's white only, and that's what they want, and that's the society they want. You know, they worship their racial group, they worship their skin tone. That's who I'm talking about. Now, there are black people like that too, that worship worship, racial superiority. It goes in all colors. But I've had these people tell me, say, well, you know, your ancestors were white and they were this and that. And what about your kids? Your kids won't look like your grandparents. Look, I don't give a damn. I'm not trying to clone my grandparents. Okay. And I could look, people say that white people are dying out. They're no longer going to exist. No, they're not dying. They're not dropping like flies. They're having less children. because of economics, because of the world we live in. Okay. Now the future holds a biracial future. So my kids, grandkids, and down the line, they're probably not going to be as light complected as me, and that's okay. I could care less. I see people as people. I don't give a shit about skin tone. Okay, as long as they're good people, they're successful, they're happy. That's all I care about. Now, no matter how many times we procreate with each other and have biracial children, and we're always going to have light and dark people. It's just in our DNA. Okay. But I don't care how dark or light my kids are. As long as they're good people, as long as they're happy, successful. That's all I care about. And I think it'd be a better place when we come together and we can throw our racial identity to the side and just say, you know what, we're people. Let's just love each other and get through this. This is our nation. This is our home. And instead of worrying about what our kids look like, let's worry about who we could find that loves us. How about that? I'm just saying. That's my opinion. I mean, people tell me, oh, white people ain't going to be the power in this country. There's going to be more brown people and they're going to control things. Okay, good. I don't give a shit. I mean, and as long as they're good people, I don't care what they look like. I mean, and how about if we look at their character instead of their color, right? Some people of your grand and grandparents can go back and look completely white. Yeah, I mean, even if we come together and black and white people just marry each other, and let's say most black and white people interracially marry and have children. Okay. The genes are still going to carry on. There's going to be light and dark people. The genes don't die. And even genes that are more recessive will always surface. But who cares about that anyway? I just hate this argument. Well, white people are dying out. No, white supremacy is dying out. Not white people, white supremacy. Okay? There's a difference. Okay? White people are not dropping like flies. Okay? And because we're light complected, we're not bursting into flames because the sun is killing us. I heard some stupid white lady say, oh, well, I want my children to mix with black people so they can survive. Survive? We've been surviving for centuries. Okay. White people are more susceptible to skin cancer, right? Because of the lightness of their skin. Okay. But they still live. Black and white people live about the same amount of time, really, depending on how healthy they are, how they live, what problems they have. But that to me was just stupid. That would be like me saying, oh, well, black people get sickle cell, so, black people need to procreate with white people to take out that disease. I mean, people are people. We have our strengths and weaknesses. Okay? Just because one person can adapt to something better than the other does not make them better. Okay? It just how people are. One is not superior to the other. You know, we're people. And I just wonder with the diseases we have, I don't know, would we be better off if we procreated with each other? Would we get rid of those diseases? Or would we still have them? I mean, the bottom line is people are cursed anyway. If you study the Bible biblically, nobody lives forever. We all have diseases. We all have flaws. You know, our body breaks down. Why? And I don't want to make this a religious show, but what I'm saying is in the good book, the Bible, it says sin is what destroys us. Sin. Adam and Eve messed up, so we're all condemned to one day passing on. And it don't matter what race you are, it don't matter how healthy you are, it don't matter if you work out all the time, it don't matter if you're a world-class athlete. Your day is coming. My day is coming. Yours is. That's life. No, anyway, kind of getting off topic, I know, but I just want people to think about this. Nobody is superior to the next person. White supremacy preached racial superiority, right? They keep the white power base on top, right? Okay. So now we see some black people saying they're superior. They could do this better than white people. They won't get sunburned or skin cancer, so they're better. Racial superiority. Then we start thinking we're better than everybody else. Then we got pride within our race, within our skin tone. When we could just say, you know what, we're people, we have our strengths and weaknesses, and let's try to do the best we can while we're on this earth. Just saying. But anyway, let me get off that. Man, I'm good for going down the rabbit hole, aren't I? Okay, I'm going to show you some videos. Okay, and fair use. I showed this before, right? Okay. We're going to use these videos for educational purposes, commentary, teaching, and hopefully we learn something and have a good time. Okay. Okay. Let me show you this video. And I'm just going to show you video. This is just people's opinions. Okay.
He's accepted everywhere, but I have to.
Okay. Parenting a biracial children. A biracial child. Okay, this is a black woman. She's talking about parenting a biracial child. Let's hear what she has to say.
You can definitely tell my son is, biracial. And they always say, well, he's like Visa, he's accepted everywhere. But I have to tell him, I raise him in a way to let him know you're going to come in contact with people that look like your mother. And they're not going to like you. They're going to be on guard because they're not going to trust you. Because they're going to wonder whether you think you're better than them. And I said, your two cousins who are the same age as him, or a year younger, who are both darker skinned like me, I said, there are going to be places where they go and they're going to be treated differently. And every single time, I'm going to expect you to stand up for them. No one chooses to be in this color skin that they're in.
Okay, let me stop there. Okay, before she goes further. She's talking about her son, right? Biracial. Maybe her child will be accepted here and not accepted there. And my thing, and this is so stupid. And I don't understand why within black people they would embrace this. When so many complain about white supremacy, but yet they judge people within their community by skin tone. Oh, you're too dark. I like light skinned women. And I hear this stuff, and I'm like, but you'll complain about white supremacy, but yet turn around and practice it. I know it's not as harsh as, attacking somebody because they're black, but I'm saying you're attacking somebody because of their skin tone. That just seems crazy to me. That don't make sense. And the crazy thing is I see more black people attacking other black people because of a skin tone. I don't see white people doing it. Not in today's world. I don't. Now back in the Jim Crow eras, yeah, they did that stuff. But in today's world, I'm seeing black people do it. And I've heard older black people say they were practicing colorism back in the day. I had my mother-in-law tell me that they would hold a paper bag over their face, and if you were darker than that paper bag, you couldn't go into a nightclub and I'm like, no, this can't be black people doing this. I understand racist white people doing this, but he's like, what? But I don't understand that part. And we shouldn't be judged because we're light or dark, or that to me is stupid. Shouldn't we be judged on how we treat people, how hard we work, what, I mean, we're just going to judge a person just their outward appearance. It's crazy. Let's continue.
But you can choose to identify how you want to identify, but make sure that you're also protecting those around you who feel ostracized, who feel marginalized, because you do have light privilege. So I teach him, I have those conversations with him.
Okay, I'm going to disagree with this young lady on this point. Okay. She seems like she's a good woman and loves her child. But one thing I'm going to disagree. I wouldn't tell my children to identify with, just be you. Be who you are. Now, you might hang around black people or white people when you're biracial, and nothing wrong with that. You're with who you feel comfortable with. But I don't think people should feel pressured to identify with one or the other. Just be you. You're going to have friends. You're going to have people that love you. And you'll be happier just being you. You don't have to identify with nobody. Why? And that's what me and my wife told our children. You be you. You don't have to be black or white. Just be you. I think we need to put more emphasis on be you. Biracial is not a bad thing. Biracial, you're just a product of two people that fell in love and they happen to be different racial group. That's okay.
But he also already recognizes just from the melanin in his skin that he's kind of the white boys in his school kind of treat him a little differently. Also, what he sees in society is that just a little bit of melanin can get you in trouble with the police, or just a little melanin, someone's following you around the store. If you're thinking about getting into an interracial relationship, or if you have an interracial child, stop hiding from the conversation. Stop. Make it happen. Talk.
Okay, let me stop here. He said something that you don't have to worry about dealing with the police because of your skin tone. I think that a lot of times black people are told that the police are the bad guys so much. And let me say this, there are crooked cops, okay? They're not all great and wonderful, but there's a lot of them doing the right thing. There are a lot of them that are protecting us. and to put this perception that because you're black, you're going to be gunned down in the street by a police officer. I think a lot of times that creates more problems to where they might lash out at police thinking, oh my God, they're evil, they're bad guys. Let me tell you something. If you're ever in a situation with the police, comply. Don't argue. Okay, you're not going to win on the street when you're dealing with police. You're not. You get in that courtroom, the judge is going to take the police officer's side every time, unless you have evidence that showed he did something wrong. Okay? The best place if a police do you wrong to fight them is in the courtroom, in a controlled environment. On the street, the police have the authority. They have the badge, they have the gun. And that's how you got to think. You know, he might look. I was in a situation with my wife where I did an illegal turn, right? And it was like 3 a.m. Nobody was around. Police pulled me over. This police officer cursed me out, yelled at me, called me stupid, told me I was an idiot for doing this and how dangerous it is. And how can you be so damn stupid? You know what I did? I said, you're right. I'm wrong. Okay, I shouldn't have done that. You're right. I didn't argue because I would have lost. But what I did do is I got the badge number. I went to court. This joker was facing a lot of disciplinary actions, how he dealt with people. Okay? Now, if I would have lashed out and cursed at him back, I mean, people are flawed. He might have snapped. He might have done something. I might have been beat up, thrown in jail, but in a controlled environment, I'm just saying, food for thought. Don't let your ego or pride get the best of you, okay? There's ways you can fight, okay? And best thing to do is just don't escalate it, okay? Even if, and this guy, what he did and how he talked to me was wrong, and in front of my wife. It could have got very ugly if I would have lashed out back. I know this guy I grew up with, and he was always in trouble with police. But when he got caught, he complied. And this guy would come out of a pile of crap smelling like a rose. Somehow he'd get away. I don't know. But anyway, there's ways to fight. And you got to think about that. On the street, it's your word against theirs. Who's got the badge? Who's got the gun? Just saying. Okay. Let's continue on. I don't want to get sidetracked.
Talk to them, have empathy, ask what they're experiencing at school, how they feel when they see images of black men dying at the hands of police when their dad is white and their mom is white. Stop doing this colorblindness.
Okay. There again, they're dying at the hands of police. Okay. I hear this rhetoric all the time. And if you really look at the wrongful shootings and the accidents, it's very rare that somebody gets gunned down by the police. Okay. Police. Now, there are some idiots that fly off the handle and you're going to have a wrongful shooting. Okay. But white people are getting killed by the police too, at about the same amount as black people. So really, it's I don't buy into that it's just a racial issue and these cops are just bloodthirsty to gun down a black man. I just don't believe it. Now, But here in this video, this might put anger in somebody that think, oh, police are evil. They're just trying to gun me down. You know, you speed, they pull you over. Oh my God, it's race. It's a racial situation. 9 times out of 10, it's not about race. But I would say be on your guard, regardless of your race, with the police, because they're human, they're flawed. So some police officers should not be police officers. And if they had a bad day and you say the wrong thing, and things can happen. Fight it in the courtroom.
You are hurting your children.
Okay. Now, I'm not saying police are just all perfect and they don't mess up and do wrong. I'm just saying, you're dealing with people. We have to have police because we have crime. Okay. And we got good police. Most are doing what they're supposed to, but you got some evil people in there. Okay. But anyway, to press this narrative, I blame the media on this, because when there's a police shooting, they will broadcast if a black man shot a lot more than they would a white man, because if a white guy gets shot by the police, nobody cares. Let's be honest. But a black man, oh my God, it's racism. There's a racial element. Oh my God, it stirs emotion. It gets people riled up. They make money off that news story. They get all the views. And news media, they make money off views. People watching it. And if you have a cop that accidentally shot a black guy, and oh my God, it's a racial thing, but yet there's this white guy or this Hispanic guy, well, people don't get riled up about it as much. Not saying they don't care, but they just, when there's that racial element, it really feeds the fire. In my hometown, they had a shooting. A homeless guy got gunned down, right? And they had police surrounded him. It was a homeless guy, and he had a couple knives. But somebody messed up. Somebody accidentally fired, and then you had other people firing. And they actually unalived this guy, right? It was a white dude. It was unjustly done. It was a wrongful shooting. And yeah, there were some people upset. But after a week, it was gone like it never happened. The only people that were upset was his family, and it was over. And they didn't really cover it that well nationally. But the George Floyd thing, oh my God, the whole nation erupted in, riots and all kinds of stuff going on, and people protesting, and people getting hurt, and businesses being set ablaze, and all this craziness. Now, anytime you lose life, it's a tragedy. Well, what I'm saying is the news media kind of misconstrues what's really happening. Because if we reported every freaking case and went through the stats, I don't think we'd be getting all hung up as we do. We wouldn't be thinking, oh, because you're black, they're going to try to gun you down. I'm just saying. Because people of all races lose their life by an accidental shooting, a wrongful, accidents happen. Somebody panics and does something wrong, or some police think they have all the authority in the world and don't know how to conduct themselves. Whatever it is. Yeah, we have good police and some are jackasses. That's it. But my advice, whether you're black or white, don't try to fight the police in the street. I'm just telling you, it will never work for you. No matter how right you are, the judge will always take the side of the police. Okay? So if you want to fight, do it in the courtroom, a controlled environment. You can put forth your evidence and what happened. And if it's a crooked cop, you can't act out because you're in a controlled environment around people, a judge, lawyers, right? Just saying. Okay, enough of that. Why is that when women even bring up that garbage? I can't stand these kind that have white husbands. And they are carrying it. Yeah, well, I mean, people. One thing that happens when you're told something over and over, whether it's right or not, after time you'll end up believing it, even if it's a total lie. Yeah. Hello, Godiva Goddess. Forrest Bear, it's good to see you, young lady. Indiana Mom's in the house. Kathleen King, good to see you. Okay, let me show you another video. I got some good ones.
Biracial children. Of course.
Okay, I think this is funny. She's got biracial children. Black mom raising biracial children.
I'm a black mom raising biracial children. Of course people ask if I'm their nanny, or if I'm the babysitter, or if I'm their caregiver, or even if I adopted them.
Oh, here's one. Okay. What she is saying is true. Okay. And it would upset my wife because my wife is a dark complected black woman, right? And our children are biracial. Okay. And sometimes people think they're not her children because they're not as dark as she is. Or somebody told my wife one time, do you take care of these children? She said, yeah, they're my children. Duh. But people tend to think that your children are going to look exactly like you. And when you have biracial children, they don't look exactly like you, whether you're black or white. Okay? And, my kids are different complexions, and, they're beautiful children, but sometimes black women get asked that. Are a white person those are cute kids you're taking care of. They're mine. That does happen. And I know she's doing it as a fun video, like a joke, but that does happen. And people expect a dark-skinned black woman to have dark-skinned children. But when you're in an interracial marriage, you're going to have biracial children. Okay? But anyway, I just wanted to point that out. That is a real thing.
I'm a black mom raising biracial children. Of course their hair texture is totally different from mine, but I think I'm doing a great job taking care of it. I'm a black mom raising.
Oh, the hair texture, I could tell you this. Their hair texture, it's funny because with my daughters, their hair texture is different. My wife, or my oldest daughter, has her hair texture is more coarse like my wife's. But my youngest daughter, her hair, it's curly, but it's more straight. It's more like my type of hair. So you get, your children that have traits of both parents. But my daughters and my son too, they all three have different textures of hair because they're biracial children. And nothing wrong with that. That's just who they are. That's what makes them unique and different. But yeah, it's a bit different.
Biracial children. Of course I get asked why my kids don't have blue eyes or green eyes or curly hair. Child, I don't know. I just care.
Yeah, well, the reason your kids don't have blue eyes, green eyes is because brown eyes are a dominant trait. Okay. My daughter said, gee, Dad, I wish I had your eyes, your hazel eyes. And I'm like, okay, well, most likely you won't have that but your children might. I mean, those genes do come back. But brown eyes are a dominant trait. I know in my family, most of my family members have brown eyes or hazel eyes. Very few of us have blue eyes. My grandfather had bright blue eyes, but other than him, we either had brown or green, hazel, and I already have the trait for the brown eyes, and my kids have that from their mother. So, but their children or grandchildren may have blue, green eyes. It does come back. But usually they're going to have brown eyes. Most biracial children will have brown eyes, and they'll usually have darker hair. There are some cases where biracial children have light brown or even blonde hair. But usually the darker genes dominate. Okay. But the other genes will resurface. But anyway, let's continue.
They're the babies, they're healthy. Obviously, their genetics were beyond me. I had no control over it. I'm a black mom raising biracial children. Of course, kids at school and your friends ask if I'm their mom.
Hey, whose mama is
Maddie,
that?
your mama black.
That is your mama?
It's a lady trespassing right now.
But who that woman?
I didn't know your mama was
Oh my
black.
God, how you so light skinned?
I'm a black mom raising biracial children. Of course, my kids know when my bonnet's on and my bra is off for the night.
She's not going anywhere.
And I'm not.
Okay. Right. Okay. But she's having fun with it. But, some women get, feel some kind of way because that's their children. And because they're not as dark as she or they're, sometimes women, will have, I think men take it more. They say, well, your kids are dark. Are they? I would be like, yeah, my wife's black. Come on. And not care. But a woman, she's attached to her children. It kind of sometimes feels a certain way. Like, yeah, but she's obviously okay with that. They're her children and she's happy. And that's the way to be. Don't worry about if they think they're yours or not. Of course, your children look different than other women in your community because, most of them are having children from being a black woman from a black father. So, yeah. So it might be a little out of the norm because you don't see a lot of dark-skinned black women with light-complected children, right? But it's becoming more of a norm as we go through, as time goes by. So the things she's talking about in the future, they'll be like, oh, she must, okay. Her kids are biracial. She has a white husband or an Asian husband or whatever. But this was a good video. It showed love. They love their mother. She's a black woman. The kids are biracial, and there's a lot of love in the family. And that's the way it should be. And they're laughing at what people say. She's laughing at it. Okay, whatever. That's the way to be. But this was a good video. I like this. Very positive. You know? Look at the in love. Okay.
I'm an adopted child.
Okay. This video is an adopted woman. Okay, biracial. Let's hear her story.
I'm an adopted child from birth. My parents are white and very conservative. I was this bold, bright, curly-headed girl, and I didn't fit in. My parents definitely nurtured my creative side from the beginning and supported my individuality, so I sort of fit in everywhere.
Do you know you have surfing and piano today? And I have a photo shoot and I'm going to the office.
I am a single mom.
Okay. That's good. Her adopted parents accepted her in, and they made her feel beautiful and accepted for who she is. Okay. She looks biracial. I think she's biracial. Okay. But both her adopted parents are white, so she's a little bit different, got curly hair, a little bit darker complex. But that's love. They loved her for who she is, and made her feel beautiful and loved for who she is. And can't we do that? Do we got to point out, our physical differences? I mean, anyway, just saying.
I had 2 kids under 2 and a business and clients and a home renovation. And we just make it work. The first job is being mom. That's always going to come out in everything I do. 6 plus 1 is? 7. 1 plus 1 is? 2.
Okay, good video. Okay. All right. We're going to see more and more of this as time goes by. A single mom, did she choose black after all that life? I don't know. I think she might have. But hey, you know what? The thing of it is that family took her in and they accepted her for who she is. I don't know if she got with a black guy or not. She's a single mother. She seems like she's successful doing her thing. Some people are okay with being a single parent and being professional. But anyway, okay. I didn't do enough research to know, so I don't know. All right. Let's show this video.
Of course people are going to touch my hair with that.
All right. These are mixed girls, right? They're biracial. And let's hear what they have to say. They're doing a fun TikTok video. And
We're mixed. Of course people are going to touch my hair without asking. We're mixed. Of course people are going to ask which parent is white. We're mixed. Of course people are going to ask me if I brush my hair. We're mixed. Of course all of our siblings have different hair types. We're mixed. Of course people are...
yeah, biracial children, I know with my children have different hair types. So that's probably a very common.
We're going to be like, can't you get your hair like your sisters? We're mixed. Of course people are going to be like, I like your hair better straight. We're mixed. Of course people like to tell me the hairstyles that I can and cannot do.
We're mixed. Of course I'm too white for the black kids and too black for the white kids.
We're mixed. Of course my hair is my most prized possession.
Okay. That was a cute video. These young girls talking about being mixed and having fun with the stereotypes, right? What I don't like about what they said is, and I know they're being funny, is like I'm too dark for the white kids and too light for the black kids. I just that shouldn't even be a thing. You know what I mean? Why would and I know a lot of kids don't care. They just want to have a friend, and and honestly, if we look at little children, how we should treat each other, maybe we can learn something from kids because they don't care if their friend what racial group they are, whether they're light or dark. They're just happy to have a friend play with, right? But I just don't like hearing too light for the black people, too dark for the white people. And sadly, for some people, that is a thing, and it shouldn't be. But anyway, that was a good video. Nicely done. It was fun. Okay. I think, in my humble opinion, I think when you raise children, you teach them to love who they are, to embrace who they are, but not to the point to where they think they're better than other people, just so they can be confident and love who they are and not let others tear them down. Oh my God. To think that way, their mom must be white. Ooh, ooh. Uh, I'm going to say this, okay, and I'm not trying to stir up controversy, but I think with biracial children, and this is my opinion, I think biracial children do a bit better when the mother's black. I do. Um, I just think black women are just amazing with their children, and black women in the right environment with a husband that loves them, they just prosper. And I know many times um, my kids, their friends would be like, I wish I had a mom like you. I wish, and this would come from black kids, white kids, where they would embrace my wife. And my wife's amazing. I mean, Sandy's an amazing woman anyway. I mean, but I just think black women have that quality. And I think that biracial children with a black mother, I think they adjust better. Because I think black women just teaches them to love themselves and love the ones that love them. Does that make sense? I just think that's what it is. And I know some people are going to be mad at me. And but I just think from what I've seen and from stats I looked at, I just think it works better. And I just think it goes back to our communities. We're the leaders in our communities. And I just think it works better. Positive self love. A lot don't. Sandy. Oh yeah. Sandy, she is amazing. Oh my God. God, I look. My wife Sandy is proof that there's a God and he loves me because I can't understand why I would have it so good. But black women, they do. A black woman that loves you, that just and black women are the most nurturing and caring women anyway. So I mean the kids tend to adjust better because they have. I think they have more self love, more love from the mother, and I just think it works better. I just do. Society can take a long walk off a short pier. Yeah. Self. Yeah. Yeah. Society, they know where they can go. Thank God I didn't live in society. Thank God I could see the beauty in black women. Because if I didn't, if I went along with the norm and just said, oh, well, a wife that looks like me because that's what everybody does, then I would have, oh my God, I would have missed out on the most amazing blessing of my life. But yeah, love is the key. Self love is key. It really is. Tonight's show, guys, I just wanted to I know there's a number of things I want to talk about. And what I put forward, I let you guys choose, because tonight I was going to talk about privilege, having privilege. And I was going to tie it up into white privilege and all this stuff. And all this stuff being talked about across the internet about white privilege, and I was going to tie it into privilege across the board, because there's so many privileges we have, right? I haven't figured out the white privilege. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be funny. I really haven't. And I come from a humble background. I come from humble beginnings. So nobody said, hey, you're a white guy. Here you go. I haven't figured out that privilege that supposedly I have. I think I have privilege being in the country I live in. I do have privilege because of my parents. My dad stuck around, and he raised me and took care of me, and I met the right woman, and I got privilege from that. Oh my God. I just but I was going to talk about that, and I was like, well, I don't know if I'll go into that. So I put some things up there, and I will cover everything I put up there. And if you didn't see the poll, I'm sorry. But I just wanted to talk about something positive. And I think having biracial children is not a bad thing. I think it's a positive thing. I think it's a way to get our society to where we could go for the best choice. I think you be on next set. Oh yeah, the 21st. I'm going to have my wife the 21st, Beverly. We're going to have Ladies Appreciation Night next week, and we're going to have fun, and I'm going to celebrate. I've been on here for 3 years now. Okay, working on the 4th year, but I'm going to celebrate it. Have a Ladies Appreciation Night, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to do some giveaways. I might ask you a question, and I might. What I'll probably do is give away a couple prizes, and I might cash up a couple people just to do it, just to show you love, because you guys have been here since I began, and I'm very grateful. And I just want to show my love and appreciation, and you guys have shown me and my wife love and respect. So I want to give to you that night. That ladies, that's your appreciation night. It's about you. Okay. And it's just a way for me to say thank you. And my wife will be there too to thank you. And let's see. Let me see this comment. I hate to hear other black women say about themselves, black women are at the bottom. That's the damage black men caused. I never thought that or said it. That's dumb. We are the Yeah, I hate when black women say they're at the bottom. Black women are not at the bottom. Black women are the best option when it comes to love and marriage. Okay. And I said it, I'll say it again. And people, there's been people that have tried to challenge me on that. And I say, well, how long you been married? Well, I'm not married, but, I'm a high value man. I got 100 grand. Okay. Well, I've been married 30 years. And my wife has made me better than I ever thought I could be. She's pulled stuff out of me I never thought I could do. The love of a black woman is very powerful. The love of a black woman will bring out the best in you. And how she does it is by building your confidence, by motivating you with her love. But in order for that to work, you got to love her too. And if she is your treasure and she pours into you, you're going to do better than you ever thought you could. And that's power. It's a spiritual power. It's a loving power. And on my last video, I talked about that. And I mean it. Look, I had to do the work to correct myself. And look, I have to come clean. I'm flawed. I got to tell you the truth. When I came out of high school, I could barely read. I was on a path to nowhere fast. And what saved me was a black woman that loved me with all her heart, that gave me a chance that I did not deserve. My wife's highly educated, and she was well above my level. But she loved me, and she seen something in me, and I thank God she seen something, because but one thing I have that a lot of men, I would say, don't, is I appreciate what I have, and I'm humble. My father's beat humility into me since birth, and I'm glad he did, because I can understand, I could see my flaws. I could see I was at the bottom, and I had to fix it. And I don't know how, I don't think I could have done it without my wife. I had to do the work, but the motivation, the love, the confidence that she built into me was like everlasting. And because of my wife being amazing as she is, not only did it make me better than I thought I could be, but it was passed down with our children. Our children all through school were on the honor roll. They all have college. My oldest daughter's got a master's degree in psychology, and she's 28, young, doing amazing things. My son's, his military career is a lot better than mine was. My youngest daughter just going through school, making the grades, doing her thing. I tell you, having that black mother is a beautiful, amazing blessing. Not only to her husband, but to the children. And you know what? I do better than most of my family. I chose the black woman. I chose the best option. And thank God I had the courage to where I could see the most beautiful, most amazing, the woman that has the most character. And she didn't look like me at all. But I had enough self-love to want the best and go after the best. Did I have low self-esteem? Yeah, I did. Yeah, Beverly, I did. Look, I did. And my father humbled me, but he didn't do it to beat down my self-esteem. Um, it wasn't my father that caused my low self-esteem. It was me. It was my failure because I know I messed up. I know I wasted my high school years, and when I graduated and got in the real world, I really regretted it. But I mean, what can you do? Sometime in your life, you have to fix your flaw. You have to fix your failure. And thank God, my father beat me down with humility because I couldn't just say, well, it's not my fault, it's the teachers, it's this, it's that. No, it was my fault. 100%. Okay, I didn't go to the best schools, but I could have done a lot better. I really could. But what it did is it made me, it put me in the mud where I had to pull myself out. And at that time, my wife and came at the perfect time. I just, and I tell you, I went from barely being able to read, having low self-esteem, not feeling confident, to where I was going to college and I was enjoying it. You know, I was actually doing something productive in my life. And through my wife's love and support, my father's laying the foundation, and my wife coming along, and then the army giving me an opportunity to better myself. Those three things have changed my life forever. But I could have taken out the other two, and having my wife would have pulled me through. It just, Black women are amazing like that. They just can make you just feel like there's nothing you can't do. You know? And but I'm thankful I was at a low point because it made me realize I had to do something. And now I have a wife and I got to take care of not just myself, but my wife now. And it made me grow up quick. But you know what? When my children came along, they weren't going to struggle in school. They were going, and with me and my wife, a B and C was not good enough. We want A's. We want you to be the best. We want you to be on top. And that's how we were. And you know what? It when my kids would struggle, I would pay for tutors. I would send them to private school. I mean, I paid a lot of money for my children's education. Why? Because I didn't want them to go through what I went through. I wanted them to be able to compete right out the gate. I didn't want them to have to go back and correct themselves like I had to do. But I'm telling you, anyone that says Black women are at the bottom, they're just stupid, dumbass idiots. They don't really see the true value and the power that Black women have. I do. I've seen it, and I'm blessed for it. And I tell you, I think it's my duty and my honor to tell the truth about Black women and tell how amazing and beautiful they are. Tell you what, I look back and people said, oh, I don't know, she seems like a nice lady, but it ain't going to work. Don't marry that Black woman. It ain't going to turn out good. Oh, really? Thank God I made my own decisions. Thank God I wasn't like a sheet in the wind, just go wherever the wind goes. But anyway, you ask me if black women are the best option? Damn straight they are. They are the best option. They're the most beautiful, both inside and out. They have the most love, most character, and I stand by that. And what's that saying, 10 toes down? Well, my toes are digging in the ground. I ain't going nowhere. I stand by that statement. Black women are the best option. Hands down. But anyway, did I drop the link? I'm going to drop the link. If you guys want to come up, I'll give you a chance. If not, I'm going to close this. I would just say if you're in an interracial marriage and you have biracial children, my advice, and look, I'm not perfect. I'm not a family guru guy. I'm going to tell you what worked for me, okay? Is me and my wife agreed that we would teach our kids to love themselves, okay? To feel comfortable within their skin, to have confidence, not to have a big ego and think they're better than someone else, but to just feel good about themselves, embrace who they are. Their mother and father are different. My wife's black, I'm white. And you know what? You got the best of both worlds. And you know what? You got two parents that love you. And that's what we wanted to teach our kids. And I definitely didn't want them to identify with the group. Be themselves. Be who you are. You're more valuable that way. Just being yourself. Be who you are. We have the best hair. Most have to learn its beauty. Yeah. I would say, and it's ironic. It's crazy that I see beautiful black women that have low self-esteem, thinking that don't embrace their natural beauty. Oh my God. I tell you, when I was young and when I grew up as a teenager, started noticing girls, I always thought black women were the most amazing, beautiful women ever. I still believe that. But my eyes are on my wife alone. I'm not looking at other women like that. Like I wasn't when I was young, when I was single. And it wasn't just looking at them at love, it was just seeing the beauty. And you could just see that the black woman is different. She's unique. How she looks, how she carries herself. She's different. Something special about her. Something's amazing. Something you just can't explain. It's like, and just wait till she touches your heart, and it's like, oh my God. And I've said this so many times. I told black men, I say, you know what? And I have discussions because we talk about my channel and stuff. And I always tell them, I say, you know what? You're blessed and don't even know. Oh, what are you talking about? You got the most beautiful women in your community, the most loving, most loyal women. And you don't even see it. You're so stuck on how she's going to lift you up in your ego and what you're doing, that you don't see the beauty in the women in your community. You don't see the value. You don't see the blessing. And I tell you that drives me crazy, because I'm like, wow. Well, if you don't love her, if you don't see her beauty, we'll step aside, because look, in my life, from the day I started dating, it was black women or nothing. And if you want to cast her aside, I'll be right there. Because I could see the beauty. I could see the character. And who doesn't want a woman to be loyal to you as a man, right? We're working on it. No swirl babies yet. Very good. Oh, thanks, Beverly. I appreciate it. My hubby says no white man should be with. My hubby says no white man should be with black women if he cannot see the invaluable physical beauty and all other warmth which they can be born with. It's a reward for white men. I agree. You know what? No white man should be with a black woman unless he loves her with all his heart. If you don't see the true beauty in the black woman, I'm not talking about the physical beauty. I'm talking the beauty within also. If he can't see that, because truth be told, black women do the most with the least amount of resources. Okay. And I'm not talking just financially or, going to school and struggling and pulling herself up, because black women do that. But black women put in the most work than any other group of women when it comes to their education, when it comes to their relationships. I've seen black women try to change men that didn't deserve her. Okay, I've seen black women do that, pour into a man that just she shouldn't even mess with, right? And I say my wife did that with me. But the one thing with me is I was humbled, and my heart already belonged to the black woman. So whatever she did, whatever she said, I was listening. I was taking it in. Oh yeah. I let her pour in her love into me, and it changed my life forever. It really did. Wish not which. Well, okay. Well, anyway, guys, I'm gonna have to close this down. Um, I hope you enjoyed this show. Um, but what I would say, my advice, if you're in an interracial marriage, you have biracial children, is just love them. Okay. Um, teach them humility. You got to, but you can also raise them to have confidence. You can be humble and confident. You can. Where you could feel good about yourself, but you don't think I'm above him and her and I'm the greatest. You could, be confident and humble. And with biracial children, just teach them to have self-love and embrace who they are. Okay. That's the thing. my thing is don't try to get them to identify with black or white. Just let them be them. Okay, they're biracial. Um, just give them love within the family, and to where they don't favor one over the other. That to me, I think, is the key. You know, and look, as we have more interracial marriages, we're going to have more biracial children. Okay, and nothing wrong with that. And let's love our biracial children. Let's uplift them. They're going to be the leaders of our nation. Okay, they're going to be taking care of us one day. Let's love them. Let's give them the love and respect, and let's teach them right. Okay, let's not do the evil we did in the past and made them identify with the group and all that stupid crap. Let's just embrace who they are and teach them to embrace themselves and feel good about themselves and love themselves. What they say, in order to love somebody, you got to love yourself first, right? Let's teach them that. Okay. I love you guys. Thank you for tonight. Thanks for being here. I will be doing a show next Saturday, the 21st, Ladies Appreciation Night. Come over. I have some giveaways, and it'll be my time to thank you. It'll be my time to give you thanks for being here. Okay? Because if nobody shows up tonight, I'm just talking to myself. And without you, I don't have a channel. Okay? This is my it's my platform, but this is your platform as much as it is mine. And it's like I'm the CEO. When you get tired of me and fire me, it's gone. So I just want you to know I appreciate that. And I don't take you for granted. I don't. Black women work harder than others. They do. Because she is conditioned to not see herself as beauty first, then a great person, that how you get protected from men. See your attraction. Men protect. Look, I'd agree with that. Black women do work harder. And I would say to black women, my advice to black women is put yourself first. See your beauty. Okay? You're different than any other group of women. You got a uniqueness to you. Not just how you look, which you are beautiful how you look. Okay? But not only that, what makes black women extremely beautiful is not just their beauty outside, but what's within. How a black woman loves you. That's beautiful. How a black woman is loving and nurturing. That's beautiful. How a black woman is loyal. That's beautiful. How spiritual a black woman is. That's beautiful. There's no other beauty than the beauty of a black woman. I'm going to say it. The black woman is the most beautiful on earth. Inside and out. So, ladies, embrace yourself. Okay? You are the best and you deserve the best. Put yourself first. Ladies, and don't give your love to a man that don't deserve it, that don't value you. Give it to a man that loves you with all his heart. A man that would lay down his life for you. That's the kind of man you deserve, black women. You deserve a man that puts you first where you belong. Because you are the treasure. You are the prize. Just saying. was that we don't have the privilege to live an entitled life. Well, if you get with the right man, you will have that privilege. A lot of times, black women can have that privilege, but a lot of times, black women settle instead of going for, they'll settle for less instead of going for what they deserve. Yes, we do. Stop thinking that way. You can have it all. You can have privilege, black women. Find a man that loves you with all his heart. Don't settle. Don't buy into that crap that the man's a prize. Any man that says he's a prize, you need to run from that dude. Because he's going just to abuse you and use you, and it's all about him. You need the man that is focused on you. A man that sees you as the prize. They will settle for and let bums trap them in a bed. Yeah, don't settle for bums. Black women, put yourself first. Okay? And that means getting the man that is for you, that lets you be the beautiful one, lets you be the treasure, lets you be the prize. Because that's what you are. You're the treasure, you're the prize. And don't settle for nothing less. And I'm telling you, ladies, the only person that's going to change a man is himself and God. Well, he'll have to have God to help him out. Because if a man ain't right, you ain't going to make him right. Just saying. And as men, and I would say men across the board, we're knuckleheads. We're stubborn. We're like a wild bull that's let out of the chute and just going everywhere and just doing whatever he wants to do till he gets some sense knocked into him, till he's humbled, till he has his face in the mud and realizes where he's at, he ain't going to be no good. You can't uplift a man by coddling him, by telling him he's great, by telling him he's the best, by, you can pour all the love in the world into him. But if he don't see you as the prize, it ain't going to do no good. If he don't love you with all his heart, it's a waste of time. But anyway, let me stop. I'll be talking all night. But ladies and gentlemen, and thanks for tonight. Come up Saturday night. We'll have a good time. And, I have my wife on Saturday too. We'll have a good time, and we'll have some giveaways, and we'll have a good time. And let me show you my appreciation for you. Okay? Because you're what makes this work. You're it. Okay? You deserve the best. Like Candace Owens and her husband marry her in 21 days because he was awestruck by her striking sexiness and her smart. That's the lesson. Tell you what, you know how long I knew my wife before I proposed to her? 2 months. 2 months. And I asked her to marry me. I didn't waste time. I knew she was the one. And in fact, I wanted to ask her sooner. But I had to get up the courage. But anyway. But I proposed to my wife. I only knew her 2 months. I proposed to her, but of course I was over at the house. I knew her family. I was always around her. Um, you know, and I proposed to her within 2 months, and within about 5 months, I married her. Yeah, and that was over 30 years ago, back in 1994. May of 94, me and my wife got married. Yeah. I was 24 at the time. She was 25. We were young. Um, 3 kids later, 2 grandkids. Hey, still going strong. But I chose right. I chose a black woman. I never looked back. And thank God I did. But anyway, guys, let me go ahead and close out. You guys have a good Saturday night. I love you guys. And I'll see you guys next Saturday. Did we go to school together? No. No, we didn't. We met each other after school, after high school. The crazy thing is I knew my wife's friends when I was 16, but didn't meet my wife till later on. That's crazy. He married you within 8 months. Awesome. Yeah. You know what? Ladies, you get a white man that loves you, he will not waste time at all. Because see, when we fall in love, we want you to be with us forever. We want to marry you, not just have a relationship forever. No, we want to get married. We want to have a family and all that stuff. Traveling to Italy? Oh, awesome. Well, congratulations. Good night, Diamond Lace. Good night, Beverly. Godiva Goddess. Good night. The hopeful romantic writer. Good night. Let's see who else. Indiana Mom, have a good night. Good night to you. Forest Bear, good night, young lady. Good to see you. Cece, have a good night. Good to see you. Malia's Diary, April May, have a good night. I hope I got everybody that came on. Jennifer Smith, good to see you, young lady. I think I got everybody. Oh, Kathleen King, good to see you, young lady. I think I got everybody that was on tonight. Diamond Lace, have a good night. Okay. Well, you guys have a good night. God bless you and your families, and I'll see you soon. Don't forget next Saturday. Okay. It'll probably be around the same time. But we'll have a good time. Okay, you guys have a good night. Have a great weekend. All right, guys, have a good night. God bless you and your families. I'll see you next Saturday. Have a good night.